Mayor Steinberg joins us live right now. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us. This comes days after rain and windstorm that tore through our area. Talk about the controversy over opening the warming centers during that storm. We may recall that we did get a message from the Sacramento County, and they said that there was no request to open warming centers.
Well, first of all, if the question is, can we all do better? Can I do better to get more people off the streets faster? The answer is absolutely yes. I will tell you, as mayor of this city, I have tried and continue to try, brought more resources to the city than I think any mayor before. I have made this an issue of great priority and urgency. But the city, the county, all of us need to do a lot better on the implementation front. And yes, we should have not just warming centers open every night during the winter. In my view, we ought to have shelter for people year round. And of course, on Wednesday, the city made a decision to divorce itself finally from the temperature criteria and to say we're going to keep warming centers open for as long as we have to this winter. And so this is a very, very difficult problem. I have tackled it and made progress. We've gotten thousands of people off the streets of Sacramento. They've been replaced by the next cohort of thousands of people. My response to my critics is, yes, hold me accountable. I'm going to continue to fight. I'm going to continue to work hard. I'm going to continue to bring the resources, and I'm going to continue to do my very best to make a difference.
Mayor Steinberg, what are the specific factors that are standing in the way of getting people off the street? It has to be more than just money. We've thrown millions at the problem. Money is not the only solution. What else is standing in the way here, Mayor?
So, in my view, this is a systems failure. But it's not a systems failure in our city. It's a systems failure in society. Name another area of major public policy where everything that government at all levels is called upon to do is voluntary or optional. We don't say it's optional to provide a free public education for children. We don't say it's optional to provide, to invest in renewable energy. When it comes to housing and shelter, the policy of our society is that everything is a charity, everything is a pilot, everything is optional and voluntary. And so I've called for a long time for a statewide right to housing, a legal obligation for government at all levels to bring people indoors. Because until we require what we know is essential and necessary for the health of people and the health of our communities, it is going to be very, very difficult, I think, to meet the rightful demands of the people. I'm going to keep trying, and we're going to keep trying, and we are going to make progress. But I believe that this is as much a systemic failure in our country, by the way, in our country, of not prioritizing housing and shelter as a mandate, as opposed to something that wouldn't it be nice if we had more of?
You know, Mr. Mayor, I've personally walked along the river around Sacramento and talked to homeless people face to face and asked them, why are you here? Why don't you go to the shelters? And many of them don't want to go to the shelters. Have you gone and talked to them yourself? I mean, because for some of them, they don't want to go to what's set up for them. They don't want to go to a hotel. Maybe they have a pet. Maybe there are other reasons around that. Have you personally gone and talked to them?
Of course, many times. And there are many obstacles, and we call them the 3 Ps: pets, possessions, and partners. And what we're beginning to do with our shelter system is to actually ensure that people can bring their pets, that they can store their equipment, that they can live with their partner. But here's my other response to that question. It is true that it is difficult to get many people indoors, but there are so many more people who want to come indoors. And we don't have the capacity to be able to provide that option for them. I was down at the warming center on Friday night at the Library Galleria, and talking to those folks, they were grateful to be out of the cold and to be inside. And so even if we are able to get the majority of people inside because we create the capacity, we will be doing a lot of good. And yes, it's fair to confront the issue that you raise. What about the people who don't want to come indoors? Well, we need to have that discussion, but it's a little bit of a hollow discussion if government at all levels has not built enough of the capacity to be able to offer them a place inside in the first place.
Okay, Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg, thank you for your time, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.